Hello everyone, and welcome back to Le Mans Ultimate. We're here for a one-off race this evening. It is Le Mini 2.4 hours of Le Mans. Well, it's a little over 2.4 hours technically. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes. Hosted by FRL, a community we've done races with in the past. Nothing recent, but yeah, they're the ones who have hosted the 3-hour races we've done this year. So yeah, looking back to doing another sort of longer endurance here on the Mon Ultimate. A little bit longer, an hour longer than the 100 series we have at the moment. That finishes tomorrow. But yeah, 3-class event should be a full grid. Welcome, welcome. Let me just see how many cars we have. 43 here. There were, I don't think it was quite full anymore. There was 44 signed up, actually. So we're only... Yes, we're only missing one person. 2 times tyre for this race. Normal fuel usage. GT3s that we're in the Aston Martin. We've got LMp2s and Hypercars as well. So yeah, should be some good fun. We're going to get going for qualifying. Private qualifying session was originally going to be a 30-minute open session, which was going to be a bit hectic, going to be a little bit difficult, but with some server difficulties, unfortunately we are running behind. We were meant to start nearly 45 minutes ago now for qualifying, but server did not want to launch, was not playing ball. And so now we only have 50 minutes of qualifying, but it is a private session. Oh, that's not a good way to start. Tires, let's put new tires on because... stalled the car pretty much immediately. Yeah, we won't get going a little bit short on time now with that little error. But yes, we're going to do 2 flying laps. Tyre wear is a bit too high to be doing more in one stint. The cool tires, they're not that bad when you initially drive out to do your first lap. But when you've done some laps, got up to speed, and then come back into the pits and gone out with cool tires the second time, that's when it's difficult because you've got to really back yourself off, and it's really easy to underestimate just how little grip cool tires have now with the new GT3 tire model. But hopefully we can get a good grip position. We were weren't fighting for the top spot in practice, but we were fighting over P2. So there is potential to get ourselves onto the front row. But I think it'll be a bit of a close fight. So we'll need to get 2 good laps in. So we will. Need to stop having slides like that. 403.2 is first time on board. Can't remember what the practice times were. Running in very tight to the left-hander here, but just making sure not to unsettle or spin the car through Indianapolis. Had enough sketchy moments on these cool tires already. Make our way through the Porsche curves here on our lap. Can start to feel the grip, especially in the front tires as they're getting up to temperature. The rear end still a bit slidey, the tires not fully up to temperature. Through the final chicane, and we will start our first flying lap. 4.5 minutes left on the board, so we'll get one more lap after, as we planned. Still undid by the rear tires being cold. Had to lift coming out of the S's there. Seemed all right through Tete Rouge. Third for chicane felt alright. Could be a bit better, but we'll need a little bit more temperature in the tires for that. Of course, burn off a little bit more fuel as well. Yeah, the car a little bit lighter, a little bit more nimble. Hopefully it won't suffer from tire wear too much in the second lap. Very tired. Very well signed corner for the first time. On a flying lap. Hi, Orbital. much better through Indianapolis this time now that there's heat in the tyres. Coming up to the Porsche curves then. Hopefully can get a good run through here for a banker lap. Not sure if shifting up to 5th is a good idea there. Don't run wide and validate lap. You did practice in the winged power show. Yeah, it certainly is better, except for in the straight line speed department, but worthy sacrifice. Wasn't greatest run through that final chicane, but 402.0, 6/10 off of current top time, and is enough for P2, but we can certainly find more time on the second flying lap. It's just a matter of making sure we complete it. I have some time on the table here, don't want to cut that curb too much. Could push Tetra Rouge there a little more, but then we'll lose the lap 2 track limits. You can see it's fairly close between us and the cars behind. But we're a quarter of a second up as we head on to the Mulsanne. Doesn't lose much straight line speed. No, it's not a big difference, but it is a little bit. Not skate through that first chicane, lost 10th. But if you go to a straight line dominated circuit where straight line speed is just everything, the old Peugeot is then maybe a bit stronger than the new one. Not a great second chicane either. Lost a bit more time. See, a few cars behind us have either pitted or finished their final lap. Bumped for second place now by just over 3.5 tenths. Might be able to find that in the second half of the lap. Might is the key word there. A little bit wide through the left-hander there. A little bit time through an arch. So it's currently looking like it's going to be P3, but it's currently 4 manufacturers within the top 4. Nice little bit of variety. Carried too much speed into the Porsche curves. That's a really bad line. I'll finish out the lap, just see if there's much more potential in it. Got better exit out of the Porsche curves, gained us by 0.5 tenth. if it wasn't for the oversteer there, we've gained like 3/10 at the end. I maybe could have had second place. It would have been close. But I'll take P3. On the second row. Put on a new set of tyres for the start of the race with double tyre wear. Don't want to be giving up precious tyre life.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
So, getting ready for the start here. I think we're pretty ready. I don't think there's much we need to change. Track up to 49 degrees now. That is roasting. We do have 10 times tyre wear for this. So, first estimate of race distance, it's going to be 4 stints. So it will be. 3 pit stops. As we're quite far near the back of the rolling start grid. Behind all the Hypercars, all the LMp2s. And on the second row of the GT3s. Still trying to buy the buck. Just sudden brake check. Oh, why is there this sudden brake checking? Like, are the people at the front of Hypercars, like, just being really erratic? That was a horrible, like, formation lap.
Green flag, green flag.
Well, we get away from P3, slowing single file out of the chicane. DT for the Ferrari. So that's effective P2. got run on the fry. I mean, if we can get in front, that could be nice. I'm surprised the BMW's giving us the slipstream, given the fry has a DT. Well, it seems like even with the slipstream, we're struggling to stay in front of the Ferrari. Now it's pulled over. Not much point in fighting that one. The Ferrari has a DT. Half track at one point, a little harsh for that. I think it's just slightly too much on the curb. Entering the corner. It seems like our straight line speed isn't too great here. Good exit. Good run and good exit through the second chicane. Gets us back towards the slipstream of the fry. A little wide there into the gravel. Just goes slightly compromised momentum. Did not see that hypercar coming. Hypercar seems to have started from pit lane. A little bit of a gap back to P5 now. Leader's also starting to pull away a little bit. A little bit more confident than the fry into the Porsche curves. And Fry does come in for that drive-through penalty. There's the Alpine. Spun on the exit of the chicane. Oh, this is going to be awkward timing, isn't it? Thank God they backed out of that one. Had me very nervous. They actually either really held up or had an instant with the Lexus. I shouldn't have gone down to second gear there. Oh no, Lexus is still in second, but they've definitely held the Lexus up. That's given us a good gap. So Bivitrain's third down to P6 now. 2 Lexuses, 2 BMWs. If they slipstream each other well, they could sort of help each other to catch up to us. But in the fighting, they could slow each other down. BMW up to 4th. Lexus falls to 5th. Hypercar has had another spin. Apparently we have a purple middle sector, which surprises me given the sort of straight line speed we showed last lap. LMp2 forgetting they don't have ABS. And yeah, we have lost that purple middle sector, unsurprisingly. Very concerning when you're catching up to an LMp2 car. What on earth? GT3 should not be held up by LMp2 through the Porsche curves. Prototypes should be comfortably quicker. They better be pitting, because it seems like they have damage. No, they've carried on. Current front invalidated the lap, so we take the fastest lap of the race. Despite being held up by an struggling LMp2 in the Porsche curves. Leading hypercars into Mulsanne corner 9. And we've opened the gap up to 4 seconds now to the car behind, 2.7 to the leader in front. Don't think we're going to win this race on pace. Don't know if any strategy options will come into play. Here comes that LMp2 coming back. Because they do have a little bit more straight line speed, a little bit more acceleration than GT3s. Not a lot, but a little bit. It's mainly the corners where the LMp2s excel compared to the GT3s, hence my concern when we were quicker than the LMp2. You know, in that case, it's kind of like a LMp3 in a way, but it's sort of inverse, slower in the corners but quicker on the straights. .11 minutes into the race. LMp2's waiting, which I appreciate. because judging on last lap, they'd have held us up through Indianapolis, which is no place you want to be held up in. Fast right-hander, the car can be sort of edgy enough through there by yourself, let alone when backing up for another car. I hope either go quickly through the Porsche curves, please, or do not hold me up. Okay, that's better. That's better from them. Leader takes fastest lap of the race. We're just under 3/10 slower, or 2.4 seconds quicker than the cars behind. Had to go off track there just to make sure I avoided the P2. Got a little track warning, but I've only lost a couple of tenths lifting for it. I lost more time in that little wide moment than I did for lifting for the LMp2. Here it comes, passing us on the straight. We'll get a bit of slipstream off it. Not a lot though. Leading Hypercars coming up to the end of the lap, so only another lap or two before they catch up to us. LMp2's lost rear end and braking for the first chicane, slammed themselves into the wall. And now they definitely will have damage. And now we've got a Hypercar that's been through the pits at the end of lap 1. Catching, they're not going to catch us before the second chicane here. I'm going to be really nervous looking for a dive bomb there. Not being great lap so far. 8 tenths down on our delta. Part of that from the LMp2, part of that from our own wide moment. Leading Hypercar really has broken away from the main pack of Hypercars. Leader into the first chicane, sorry. And now second place is in there, so what, nearly 10 seconds, just shy of. Another lock up for the P2. Respect on the LMp2 for not fighting me into an arch here. Hopefully the damage they have from slamming the wall into the first chicane isn't too bad and they don't hold us up for a second time through these Porsche curves. They were alright last lap. That's before they picked up the damage this lap. Good run through the Porsche curves. finally pits. Does the LMp2, which is good news for us. A little bit too much curb at the final part of that chicane there. Personal bests from the cars behind. Showing that there's no backing off, there's no resting at this point of the race. We need to push on. Not necessarily to catch the leader, but just to make sure we can hold P2. Starts to feel like they're struggling a little bit more in the longer run here than they were in practice, probably because the track is quite a bit hotter. Over 20 degrees at the start of the race. It has come down quite a bit, down to 41 degrees now. So down 8 degrees from when we started the formation lap. But still 16 degrees warmer than it was in practice. But we are getting later in the day. I can't remember if I mentioned it, but we do have a 9 times time multiplier. So we should see a full 24-hour cycle, day and night. Currently coming up to 6:30 in the evening in-game. Also, should say dry weather throughout this race, no chance of rain. Oh, I tagged the wall there. Luckily no suspension damage. Yeah, starting to struggle with understeer now, especially from the front left, which I'm not a fan of. Quicker than our last lap. Pit leader's got to fastest lap of the race. They're not being slowed down by any tyre wear. Invalid laps from the cars behind. And some personal bests. apart from the leader, everyone's pace is sort of converging from what I've seen on the leaderboard last lap. Not too long until we get hypercar intervention. Catching up to a lapped car here, which has taken a pit stop and is on a night lap. Ah, nice. The leading hypercar isn't coming up on my relative app or overlay. Hi, Eddie. Good to see you. How you doing, Bob? Can see hypercar catching up now. Good. Of course, it's a Ferrari. You'd go around here earlier in the Aston. Oh, did you now? Lambos on new tires, I'm pretty sure, that are still cold, judging by the pace into Indianapolis there. Definitely give me a little bit of a scare, and yeah, cost us by a second, which is far from ideal. Really struggled with the rear under braking. Yeah, there's a few corners around here which can really unsettle the car in braking zones. Second place, Alpine passing through. Entry to Porsche curves. Yeah, I mean, especially if you don't have tire warmers on, you need to spend 2 full laps getting them up to temperature. Well, it kind of depends on what track and ambient temperatures you're running, but 2 to 3 full laps just getting the tires up to temperature before you can really properly push on them. And if you do have tire warmers on, I'd still take it a little bit careful on the out lap. Two Ferraris coming through, fighting over third place. Oh, yeah. I say fighting, trying to crash over third place by the looks of it. Cadillac passed in 5th place. Not used to it needing to take that time. Yeah. Especially coming from Forza, where cool tires were and still are like they like take 2 corners to warm up. You know, it's, you know, cool tires in Forza are far from realistic, but LMU takes them very seriously. It's a nice learning experience. Yeah, I mean, That's why I love, certainly loved by LMU when I first started playing it, was the challenge coming from not necessarily Forza but ACC, and having to really readjust and sort of relearn how to drive a bit. Was a fun challenge. Well done to the Alpine for showing good patience. A bit hard to adjust, but fun. Yeah, it certainly is hard to adjust. Because I remember the first race I did at Fuji, just sort of spinning in the final sector quite a few times, and really having to learn that, yeah, like traction control is not just put your foot down and it will do everything. It's like, no, you still got to modulate it a bit, especially through longer corners. Same with ABS, you've got to still modulate the brake. How much feeling is in the pad driving? I mean, I've never tried it myself, but I have heard positive things. Actually just getting quite a lot of time on the leader there. I wonder if they got caught up in the hypercar traffic. Yeah, I seen that. I thought that was one of the hypercars, but that could have been the BMW. Could have been assisted there as well. That was a move way too late. Way too late. Like, that wasn't trying to make a move, that was attempted murder. I just had a good feeling that they were gonna go for it, so I was ready to open the door and leave them the space, but I didn't want to. They didn't deserve it. But no point having a crash over an impatient hypercar. Okay, lose a little bit of time, but ultimately we still gained 3 seconds on the leader last lap. Maybe because they had an impatient hypercar screw them over. The race is long. We are just coming up to that half 30 minutes in. Top class rushing moves, nothing new. I mean, we've seen the Alpine there coming into Mulsanne as 50-50 on whether they try dive bomb or not, and they didn't. We had a earlier second place car, I think it might have been. Put the no, suggested they were going to make a dive bomb into the second chicane, but didn't commit to it. Front left feeling a bit tired? Yeah, it really is. Okay, 3 laps to go out here. Yeah, we'll take 96. Game is still predicting sort of 4 full stints. Big thing you need to work on is braking. Lockups and trail braking, yeah. I mean, even in the GT3 cars, with ABS, trail braking is so important. If you get the trail braking right, you can find so much time. just how the car turns into a corner and responds when you turn the wheel. I might try something at this next pit stop. We're gonna have 2 more laps before we pit. Later it could have bit damage, because I haven't pulled away from us this lap. Not surprised that came up as track limit. Surprised it was green though. Yeah, 9/10 gained. That is quite a bit. Yeah, you do need to be careful with how you brake into certain corners. Like, through turn 1 and then braking for turn 2 here at Le Mans. You need to make sure when you hit the brakes, you straighten up the steering wheel. Or you have the steering wheel straightened when you hit the brakes. Otherwise, yeah, that will be an issue. I'm gonna swap some tires. Yeah, in these straight braking zones, you know, you can't just slam the brakes on hard, but like Porsche carbs, you were saying earlier, a big one. You have to just be a little quite careful with how you bring the brake in. There's also the ABS maps. The default is towards understeer. But if you're not running one of the understeer maps, I would recommend trying it. That does help with stability. No option to repair damage despite the little tag on the wall, so it means damage is very minor, which is good. First of the LMp2 cars catching us. And the second. That'll get us just before Indianapolis, which is good. Yeah, there's only one place where I kind of really hit the brakes hard, and that's sort of for the long right-hander within the Porsche cars, so excluding this first bit, obviously, where you kind of hit the brakes while keeping the car straight and then turn it in once you've rolled off. Don't really use the brakes through here, and then bit brakes, and you keep the steering wheel straight as you do it for that little bit. You might tap them a little bit here just to try and get the weight to the front, get the car, transfer the change of direction, the momentum. But it's small tap. More so only done because of the tyre wear. Right, pit stop time. %, of the track you feel mostly confident, it's just the rest. You don't trust the brakes. One thing you can do is lower the max brake force in the setup. There are people that will turn that down to like 95, 90%. You know, and it's like you'll lose out a little bit in the peak braking at the end of these long straights. But it might just make it easier everywhere else where you're not on the limit. Where you're not at a high speed. Or really, even in the big braking zones, it can help with the turning still. And the stability. So, it's something worth trying. I don't know how to go with setup here, or tyre strategy. At the moment, the front left would get down to about 20% if I did another stint. Which is not a lot. Front right would probably be down to about 30%, which is still not a lot. The rears would only be 50%. Like the understeer would be, there'd be a lot of understeer. But only changing front tyres is a bit risky. I don't know why I shifted down to 5th there. It's just been a little too cautious behind the P2 and thinking about strategy. Yeah, tyre wear is going to slow down. In the lower temps. I'm going to change now. As we're 40 minutes into the race, sun's starting to set. And I'm going to change all 4 tyres now for a reason. %, energy to fuel ratio, new set of tyres. You might be able to tell I didn't practice pit entry with how little confidence I had there. How far down are we, and how busy is pit lane? Pit lane's not too busy. Of course, collisions in pit lane are a thing on LMU. Set the car into neutral. So yeah, it's only going to get colder into the night, and we'll probably be making our next pit stop in the middle of the night. So it's going to be even colder now, which will make it even harder to get tires up to temperature. So if I'm going to double stint tires, I think I'll double stint them over the next stint or 2 stints, and take all 4 new tires now while they're a little easier to get up to temperature and a little bit more worn in the first place. As we see, getting into nighttime. Looks like cars in front didn't change all 4 tires, which is going to give them an advantage now as I try and get these tires up to temperature. The car in front of us actually short-filled on energy as well. So they're hoping this race goes a couple of laps shorter than what the predictor is saying. The mediums are the only tyre for GT3. Its optimum temperature is 92 degrees. So we're going to struggle more through the night time. Now the Lexus behind us is on 4 used tyres. We're going to lose out in this short term little bit here as we bring these tyres up to temperature, but over the stint, you know, once we get these tyres up to temperature, we'll be seconds a lap quicker, I hope. And then we'll see what state the tyres are in when we are coming in for our next pit stop to decide what we do. Yeah. Also, the burnout I did out of the pit box. Bit of tyre wear on the rears. I don't ideally want to lose this place, but I don't think I'm going to get much choice in the matter. Look at that straight line speed. And because I've cool tyres still, I can't be super confident on the brakes. I think ideally we don't have to change any tyres at the next pit stop. That's a moment. Ooh, I got the heart rate going. But we'll see. I had to run, but nowhere to go with it because of the kink. Lamborghini's holding us both up. I can see where the apex was there. And then the Lamborghini spins. Can see already the new tires giving us an advantage. I really guess proper sense of where straight line speed is like. It's not as good as the Lexus. Lexus. That's us through. See, the tire's still cooled, especially the rears. LMp2 parked up for some reason. But yeah, that fight with the Lexus, that has obviously cost us time, which isn't ideal. Hypercar. Is that's the leader again. Still not on the relative, annoyingly. Also, we were a few percent short on virtual energy, simply because it doesn't make a difference on how far into the race we can go. So might as well save like the second from putting a little less in. And carry around a little bit less fuel as well while we're at it. Up to 11 o'clock, 11 p.m. in game. See the night, starry sky, hot air balloons ready to take off as well. I've lost the rear wing. I've kind of screwed the tires. That's just pulled tires. I threw it into the right-hander just a little too much for the tires still being cooled. And yeah, I paid the price for it. Right, that's about just over 50 seconds of damage repair. Not good. Not far from ideal. But yeah, I mean, went from the first stint where the front tires were really getting abused and dropping off, you know, and bringing understeer into the car to now it's cool conditions, so the tires are colder than their optimum. So basically, the warmer they are, the more grip they have. So the front, all tires are new, so there isn't a wide difference between the two of them. And because the fronts get warmer, they have a grip, the car's more oversteery, and you just have to be more careful of how you turn it in aggressively and how you use the grip that's available. The front end had all the grip, but the rear end wasn't ready for the grip available. Took 2% out of the tires with that burnout. Coming out in 12th place. Still a lot of time in the race to make places back up. And annoyingly, it was over 20 degrees when we were trying to get the previous set of tires up to temperature. Now it's 17 track temp. Yeah, I'm on cool tires. I'm not up to full speed yet. Down to 15 degrees now. So it's going to be that much harder to warm these tires up compared to the tires we were previously trying to warm up and got into strife with. We've got one GT3 behind us. That's in 13th place. And then there's quite a gap until some hypercars that will, of course, close in on us. I'm hoping to get these tires up to temperature before the GT3 behind catches us. I'd let the car stall. Come on, I'm holding the clutch in. Like, do you not start? Oh, I know. That's a lot of time wasted for no reason. A little over 3 minutes off the lead now. One of the BMWs is in the pits. That's early. I wonder if they also made a mistake and damaged the car. BMW really threw it in there to try and make that move work. I don't know why you're flashing me from all the way back there. See again, how lightly the rear went to step away there. Also, that Alpine can get in the bin with how much it's flashing. Like, if it's flashing that BMW, like, that is just impatience at its maximum. Weaving. Are tire temps really that bad? Stop your flashing. Literally 3 seconds back and they're spamming the button on a straight. Like, Dickhead of the Year award, please. That person right there. The GT3s are the only ones on the new tyre model. But I mean, the old tyres aren't as sensitive to cold tyres as the GT3 tyre model. You know, so theoretically, you know, if there was one class that was going to need to weave, it'd be the GT3s. With the new tyre model, as I've kind of demonstrated how sensitive they can be to tyre temps in the last few laps. even in these colder temperatures, the LMp2s and Hypercars especially, since they have a soft compound, they should be just fine. Weaving the tyre is only gonna wear it out more, which is probably more damaging with the 2 times tyre wear. That was scary. Lambo lost it. And Lambo came out of the pits on cool tyres, so it was sort of sliding all over the place. I was like, oh, I'll pass them on the right hand side, expecting them to go left, but then they lost control and spun to the right. Not ideal. Wanted to rotate there in the braking zone. Turning feels fine with the car. I mean, maybe on the really worn tires it could be a bit better, but I don't think in these nighttime conditions I want more front end. Seems to be a range of strategies up and down the grid here, which is a bit surprising, especially since the race distance seems like it was going to be 4 full stints, maybe a lap short of that. That's like, oh well, you've fill the tank 3 times and then the final time you fill it 1 lap short. But that hasn't seemed to be the case. Also, just remembered that spin I had at the start of this stint isn't going to help with double stinting the tyres. Yeah. Rear was moving around there a little bit more than I would have liked. BMW just come out of the pits. There they are, hang 3 T1. They're on cool tires. Can tell by just how much I gained through first few corners. Look at that, making a prototype-esque move on the same class. And then Respect to the Chevy there for being patient. Not on 2X, I don't think. Like, maybe with 1X tyre wear, normal tyre wear, yeah, you probably could, but with 2 times, I'm not too sure. Because that's essentially doing 4 stints. Remembering that we are going to get back into daytime, and the final stint will be in warmer conditions, down to 11 degrees at the moment. But yeah, we're quarter to 2 a.m. We'll get to sunrise eventually, and then it's just gonna get warmer from there, and the final end of the stint is gonna be like how the race started. I haven't been paying attention to the lap times from the other GT3 cars, but I wonder if they're struggling for lap time as much as I am. Like 3 seconds down on my Delta. Just feels off, but with the cold conditions, that might just be where the tire, the tires don't have the grip and the track's that much slower. I'll be just about made in time for T1. I'm so annoyed about those 2 mistakes. Second one really annoyed about the time it took me to start the engine again, since it's accidentally tabbed out. First one I'm annoyed about by just the fact that we're not going to find out if the strategy would have worked or not. And now we're off strategy in a way that's probably not as good as being on the strategy we were. Lexus into the pits. Now that's the one that short filled. For 8.2 from another Lexus. I mean, we're quite a bit faster than that, but we do have about a minute to make up. Risk running over that left-hand side curb in the way I did. Apex in there somewhere. In 2 laps, the tires went down 3.5%. That's good to know. 4.5. That's good pace. 3.5 seconds quicker than that Lexus. Yeah, we could definitely catch that Lexus. That's currently in 6th place. Not sure about the Lexus in front of us. In P8 now. Still 2 pit stops for both of us, but they'll need significantly less energy. So one of them is going to be much shorter, and they were like 1 or 2 cars behind us before the first pit stop, so their pace isn't bad. They've also just put on a new set of tyres for this stint, which they're trying to get up to temperature now, because they're struggling with it and dropping time. I think it's 7 laps. Because it was, well, currently if we do 39 laps race distance, it'd be 10, 10, 10, then 9 laps on the final stint. But considering I did 2 laps and a stint crashed and then had to pit, it'll be 10 to 10, 10, 7 to get to 39. Of course, we'll just keep an eye on that predicted. It may be a case of putting an extra lap in for the final stint to be safe. But we'll have to see when we get closer to that final stint. We're not even on the penultimate stint yet. Track down to 10 degrees as we're coming up to quarter past 3 in the morning. Do some lift and coast and save fuel. Yeah, that is an idea. I haven't done any practice on lift and coast here. I think it's a bit harder to save fuel and virtual energy in the GT3s compared to the prototypes. Just because with ABS you can be so late on the brakes in the GT3s. Yeah, I know lift and coast is easy. I've done it for quite a few races. But that's been in LMp2s and Hypercars. I haven't done it for GT3s. That's not ideal. You know, but usually when you lift and coast, you know, you lift maybe like 100 meters before your braking point and then you brake like 10 meters later to make up the time you lost from lifting early. And you can usually make sort of hold level because that lifting just makes the braking zone a bit easier. It means that you can be nearly just as quick as you are without lifting. When GT3s, because you have ABS, you can really slam the brakes. At the start of a braking zone. Yeah, I believe that. In fairness, it actually just reminded me on Monday, I was doing a race around here in the Mustang. And it's a 65-minute race, normal fuel and tyre wear. And I underfilled virtual energy, oh, that's a moment, by 4%. And I lifted and coasted my way to the finish. But I did lose like a second or so a lap from doing it. I don't think it was worth it. Leaders into the pits. Yeah, this is the point that we should be pitting. If it wasn't for the first mistake that we made. If you did shoot your monthly off in the LMp chat, you'd be racing tonight. I mean, I'll be honest, I was 50-50 on whether I wanted to race, because I've been out at a rally for most of the day at timekeeping. So I was up at 6 AM this morning. Now the Ferrari is fuel saving for an extra lap. Not to mention I ended up only getting 4 hours of sleep last night. Hypercar coming up on us. Ah, it's the one that wants to flash 2 years in advance. I'm gonna be a prick to you just because you flashed me. You know, like, flashing me when they're not even close enough to make a move into that corner. It's like, what's the point? You're just being an asshole for no reason. Two laps until we pit. Okay, the tyre wear isn't actually much, if any, better than it was in the first stint. The Ferrari did not set that move up very well. I don't know. I don't know about double stinting tires. I really don't know. I mean, I did eat into the leader's gap by like 10 seconds before they pitted. The gap came down from like 190 to 180. And I assume that was based around tires. Great line. Front end is not biting as much anymore. One more lap on these tires. I don't think so. I mean, if I hit 50, if I'm hitting nearly 50% in one stint, the second stint I'm going to be getting to nearly 10%. That's a little deep. Sun starting to lighten the sky at 5:15. Temperatures are on the rise now. if I was able to save a pit stop from fuel saving, I'd be doing it. That's the LMp2 that we had fun and games with in the first stint. But not saving a pit stop, I'm so not sure if it's worth it. I mean, it's so much easier to lose time trying to fuel save because you do it inefficiently. You just give time up. Oh, that was the leading LMp2 car. They're not anymore. Missing a rear wing. I'll track them at warning as we come into the pits. Just slightly cut across the curb too much. Yeah, we'll take new tires. And then we'll maybe double stint them to the end. A Lambo missing its rear wing. So we wait for the pit stop again. I'll spin up the tires as much this time. Don't know if it is worth it in terms of like temperature versus wear. See sunrise starting to appear as we get ever closer to sunrise. I'm sensing a potential P8 at the moment. Between the BMW currently in 8th place needing an extra pit stop. I need to not go that deep in the braking zone with cool tires. But yeah, with the BMW in 8th place, still needing 2 pit stops. And the Lexus in front of us not necessarily being that quick. I think we could get those 2 places. But we're going to have to go get them. They're not going to come to us. We're going to have to go get them as the LMp2 behind us forgets where a braking zone is. Has a little exploration of the runoff. for a moment I might go into the back of the Cadillac there. With thick wheel tyres. Got another hypercar catching up to us. The difference between flashing your lights at me as a hypercar when I'm in GT3 versus not. Rewind back to the Ferrari. The sun trying to blind us now as it rises. Nearly lost the rear end entering the chicane there. Had to catch it. Just over 1 hour to go. Purple middle sector, which I really do not believe. Got a few LMp2s behind us. If it wasn't for the second spin I had at the second chicane, I'd be sort of fighting the Lexus now, I think. Circuit well and truly illuminated now by the sun. That BMW is into the pits with like 15 laps to go. Yeah, they're not making the end. Take the red curb. Catching up to this Lambo again. Don't know where that LMp2 is going. Lamborghini's given the speed to come back at us, but I don't think they want to, luckily. Because if we were fighting for position, it would have been an interesting battle, let's just say. But that's not the case. Looks like them actually went yellow this time. Concerning at all seeing the fry spinning in front of us. I did not intend to go for that dive bomb, but blimey, that LMp2 braked early. Yeah, that was not concerning at all seeing the fry spin. BMW in 12th is spending quite a while in pit lane, probably repairing damage. Also, we hit one of the marshal post markers or slow zone markers. The fries hit and brought onto the track. Fight for second place within the Hypercars. As a cut. How did I not get... How did that not go yellow or even orange? That was such a cut. Oh well. We'll take that. No, the LMp2 behind us we're actually fighting for position overall, such as being their difficulties this race. I don't think they stand much of a chance of beating all the GT3s. We're within 10 seconds of the Lexus now. I don't think we really have a chance of any further positions unless someone within the top 7 makes a mistake. Damage for the LMp2 after an off at Indianapolis. Very easy corner to make a mistake, especially in the P2 or even the hypercar. This could get awkward. They're going to be patient. They know they have damage. Appreciate that. They do dive into the pits to repair damage. Only 3/10 off of our personal best lap. Did get track limits that time. Very far. They'll lift and got rid of it. Do you have that Lexus LMp7, but they've pitted. And ooh, it's going to be tight for them to get to the end of the race, but their pit stop is going to be like 30 seconds shorter than ours. You know, they'll only have to splash and dash for 1 lap of fuel. We'll still need nearly a full tank. I think we're getting to the point the race should be sort of finished, nearly finished, if it wasn't delayed for the server issues. 9:20 in game. Well, truly past sunrise now. Couple more LMp2s catching up to us. Hypercars as well. Ooh. The Lexus that's on an outlap here is holding up the Lexus that we're trying to chase down. But Lexus and Lexus Violence hit the wall again. Luckily no suspension damage, let's bounce off the curb. I didn't need. Front tires are starting to feel a little fatigued again. 4 laps until we pit for the final time this race, hopefully, barring any mistakes and having to repair for damage. We've really closed up on the leg size this lap. Ooh, personal best lap from the main one that we're chasing down. As the LMp2 leader passes us. I thought the Alpine was going to commit to the right hand side there, but they were patient. If anything, that just meant that I made it awkward. Trying to catch up to slipstream. Another Alpine comes through. That's LMp2. Not the Hypercar Alpine. Just a little too far to get slipstream from the Lexus. Maybe we're getting a little hint to slipstream. I misread the braking boards. Yeah, I should have closed in and, you know, had the slipstream down this whole second part, but I've just given that away with that mistake. Lost a second and a bit. Thankfully, no other damage. It wasn't for that spin at second chicane after we repaired our first bit of damage. Maybe could have been fighting the Lexus that's sitting in P7 at the moment. Bit deep into Mulsanne corner from the Ferrari. But didn't compromise us or hold us up, so that's alright. Windscreen is getting quite dirty. Be nice if we could have a turret off to clean it at the next pit stop. Unfortunately, not a thing within LMU. We're over 2 hours into this race as the Lexus in front runs a little bit wide. Why that way? I guess because of the Lexus in front just being awkward, which is now throwing it in way too deep into the Porsche curves and will easily fly on by. Maybe we could have done it a little bit sooner if we didn't make that mistake in the first chicane this lap, but it is done nevertheless. Three laps until we make our last pit stop. If Lexus in front is trying to make it to the end, they're really trying to feel safe. Though I think they need to feel safe like 14% possible. But not with while maintaining a pace that means it wouldn't be worth taking another pit stop for. You know, you'd lose so much time, you'd be better off pitting anyway if they tried to feel safe that much. Now, the Lexus behind might jump us in this pit sequence because they won't need to put in as much energy as we do. Though tyres could also be part of that equation. Really pushing the curbs here, not really to my advantage. Lexus in front is picking up a bit of pace, but because they have new tyres and they just needed a bit of time to get them up to temperature. Only a 10th off our personal best lap. I have a chance to improve it. Track's definitely getting a little bit quicker with it getting warmer. The tyres are just in a better operating window. Even if they are a bit worn. Ooh, big twitch there for the Lexus. If I didn't run in, hit the red curb or run into the gravel, might have been a personal best. Personal best for Lexus in front, though. little lag moment there with Fry, not ideal as Lexus moved over to grab a bit of slipstream from it. Really per exit there. I mean, the Lexus is only costing itself time by defending from me. It's going to come out in front when I pit. Carb. Must say, the Lexus does get out of these chicanes very well. Too late on the brakes. Cost myself a couple of tenths. That just drops us out of the slipstream. If this Lexus is gonna hold me up, there's no point in following it and being behind it. A little track warning on the pit entry here, but that's alright. Trundle through pit lane, less than 3 minutes remaining. This is our final pit stop. Bit of a splash and dash, not changing tyres. 26 seconds. Don't mind me hydrating. So we'll still have warm tires as we leave the pits here for the remaining 7 or 8 laps. It's a bit tight on what way that will go. BMW 36 seconds in front of us. That Lexus that has to pit 56, but we know its pit stop is going to be like 15 seconds shorter than ours. So we would need to gain like 20 seconds on it before it pitted. And the BMW coming up behind us has to pit again, so we're not worried about them. We just don't really want to battle them and lose time fighting them. Leader of the race. Still not on the relative. Rick still picked up an apex there. I'm curious to see what the gaps are at the front of the field. Well, that Lexus into the 402s. Using those new tyres as well. Oh, they understeer there. Sorry, LMp2. But well managed from the LMp2. Old tyres with a heavier tank of fuel just cannot be taken so quickly through there. Pretty much have a guaranteed P8 here, so it'll be interesting to find out here just sort of how bad used tyres are. Track temp's really going up now. Track's probably getting slower rather than quicker. Oh, the understeer. Just don't have the mechanical front grip from the tyre now. Ooh, Lexus behind into the pits, even though they have the virtual energy to go to the end. I think that's an out lap too from them. I think they pitted. Filled up to go to the end and now they had to pit again. Shame for them. Also, with these old tyres, I'm not going to have the pace to catch the BMW in front. It's alright into left-handers, not too bad, but right-handers, that's really the issue. It's making me glad I didn't double stint there. There's a little bit of a cut. Plenty of track limit warnings to go, so we can kind of abuse them in the latter part of this race. We're making inroads on the BMW in front, but they're small inroads. Not the inroads we need to be making if we want to catch them up. Oh, harness is starting to set in again. I kinda wish the practice and quali was a little bit shorter than it was because of the late start. Just to have got this race done a little closer to the time it was originally scheduled to finish at. Track up to 40 degrees now. Front left tire's certainly starting to struggle. Not just with the wear, but starting to overheat as well. I think we're getting like 2 seconds a lap on the BMW in front, which isn't a small amount, but we needed like 4 seconds a lap. Yeah, we needed it twice as much. I can't remember which side's the front and which is the rear. I think the first one's the front in this, because I feel like I need to bring the brake bias rearwards a little bit just because of the tire wear. Just to shorten the braking zones a little bit and help the turn in. Oh, maybe actually gained about 3 seconds this lap. It's like tantalizing, so it is. It's like you're close, but it's not quite enough. It's like easily that, without that second spin at the second chicane, easily would have had them. Definitely feeling a positive change with the brake bias. 10 minutes left. Not sure how many laps. Let's see. It says 2.8 laps remaining. With fuel for one more just in case. I mean, if the Lexus saves and there isn't the extra lap, they'll probably be alright with where they are. But of course, they're a little further along. They might not get, you know, from them being further up the road, they might not get lapped by the leading hypercar. So they might have to do an extra lap, a 39th lap, whereas we'll only do 38. Too long. Gotta bring back to this. Got a lot of traffic behind. Got an LMp2 closing up, a hypercar and another LMp2. Just braked it a little differently into that right-hander to try and get the car to rotate in. Something I wouldn't normally do because I'd risk spinning the car off like I did in the second stint when I had to come in and fix the broken rear wing. But because the front tires are so worn, you know, the car's understeering, so I can do that to try and work around the understeer of the front tires. And the rear tires are still not good enough condition that they're not gonna let go on me. Car off on the left there on a night lap. I think that's Peugeot. Leader's actually not far behind us. I mean, thing is, if we get lapped, that means we don't have a chance at the positions in front unless they also get lapped by leader, but that really helps the Lexus. You know, really, if I want a chance at beating the Lexus, I need both of us to not be lapped. Because it might be a little bit close if they do have to come in for a splash and dash. But whether they have to make a splash or dash, yeah, that's... Yeah, we will be doing 38 laps in this race. We'll get lapped soon. Then when the leader crosses the line, there'll probably be less than 3 minutes remaining, which will make it the final lap of the race. And I don't think they're going to catch up to the Lexus, but again, if the Lexus does one more lap than we do, then you know, they're guaranteed to finish in front of us. Unless them pitting, of course, puts them a lap down. But they'll probably cross the finish line in the pit lane. Gaps just sort of started dropping to number 7. Wonder if they had a little moment. I don't know if LMU is one of the ones that games that the times calculated are based on where the car behind is, or whether it's actually trying to live calculate the gap. And not just sort of like using a reference. Fry didn't get the move set up and has had to follow through the Whew. That's the leader. That could have gone really wrong. And well, I lost 5 seconds in that. Or probably closer to 4. Oh, that's scary. But final lap of the race now. I'm guessing the Lexus banked on it being 38 laps. But unless they get lapped this time round, which might not be the case, they're gonna have a 39th lap. They'll cross the line in pit lane before the leader crosses, so they'll get to do that extra lap. But they'll be last of those on the lead lap relative to the GT3 class. That means they need the BMW in front to not be lapped. But I think it will be. It's only like 5 seconds between the Hypercar and the BMW. Yeah, Lexus is going to get away with being short-filled by a lap. Of course, we could have taken a lap of fuel and energy out, but it wouldn't have made any difference, really. Being like 2-3 seconds quicker. Big thing for us was in the mistakes. I'm just glad this is final lap. Well, glad because I'm tired. I want to get to bed and head to sleep. Not glad because one more lap might have had us a chance at P7. LMp2. Brave there, but yeah, that works. Oh, the Lexus slowed down to make it their final lap. Yeah, so they take 6th, BMW will take 7th, and we will come home. Bit of a disappointing P8. We'll rue those mistakes. Oh. I'm tired after that. Welcome back, Artie. Oh, I'm tired. No, live timing assist tells us. No, only tells us. Why can't it show you interval, like, between these two? Oh, that is quite a gap, I mean. Coming across the line now. Maybe has like a minute to go in, maybe not quite a minute, maybe 45 seconds. Where are they? Oh, they're not too far back. Neither are they. Yeah, I think we could have had P2. I think we could have P2. If it wasn't for my mistakes. Hi, Fiona. Just missed the end of the race. So you did. So I'm just writing something in the Discord chat about the race. How many people finished? Only 29 finishing. A little bit disappointed. Disappointing. I mean, the start was good. Um, Qualified P3. The Ferrari that qualified P2 got a drive through off the start. So, and got past that Ferrari on the opening lap. Did he? I tried to, but I didn't quite have the straight line speed for it. Um, but they pulled into the pits anyway, and or no, did I? I think I just passed them. Just as I was like alongside them as we got to pit entry, and they went into the pits. Um, so I was then. Um, yeah, first stint held P2, was only a few seconds behind the leader, had a good 9 second gap to third behind. It was looking good. First pit stops, I decided to put 4 new tyres on. No one else seemingly did, or someone short filled. Other people didn't put all 4 tyres on. So I fell down to third or fourth out of the pits. I left the pits in P3. I fell to fourth because Alexis on warm tyres, they didn't change onto new cool tyres, caught him past me. And then as I then the net lap later, I got back past them with the new tyre as it was starting to get up to temperature. But I was just a little bit too aggressive on a turn in through the Porsche curves and lost the rear end. And with how quick that section is, yeah, and you're very lucky to avoid the wall if you have a spin. I did not. Lost the rear wing, had to make an extra pit stop because of that. That dropped me about 2 and a odd bit minutes back. Then on the out lap from repairing that damage, I had another spin at the second chicane on the Mulsanne straight. And then yeah, it was main recovery drive from there. Annoyingly, when I spun and stalled the car in that second spin, I forgot I tabbed out of the game during the pit stop and I didn't tab back in. So I spent like 10 seconds just pressing the starter button, nothing happening because I wasn't tabbed in. That was a complete waste of time for no reason. But yeah, from there on, the race went pretty well. The pace was good, like relative to the leader. I was roughly keeping pace with them. I wasn't quicker than them, as still a little bit slower, but I think if I could have seen the gaps to all the other cars from second back, I think I was gaining on all of them and I was quicker than them. So I think I could have got P2. I did have one half spin towards the end that I got away with. But yeah, it's those 2 big mistakes. Um, Stalling the car and taking forever to restart it, and then losing the rear wing prior and having to make an extra stop. Yeah, those were the big killers. I'm gonna finish writing this Discord message. Then I will do a little bit of Art of Rally, and I will finish off stream there. Yeah, it can be very hard. Um, because when you have multiple mistakes like that, you can lose a lot of confidence in the car, and then just you don't push it, you hold back, you lose time, you're slower, um, and then it's like yeah, your pace just isn't what it used to be before you made the mistake. But like I knew why I made the mistake, so it was fairly easy for me to go, okay, right, I just need to adjust my driving slightly for this moment. I just need to be a little bit more careful on the second lap of the stint. Um, yeah, I mean, luckily after the second spin, I didn't need to change tires, so it's not like I had to restart the tire warming process, which was the main difficulty. But yeah, I just know it's like, okay, yeah, I just need to be sensible on the tires and not too aggressive because I'm someone that likes a bitey front end. I like a car that when you turn the wheel, the car sort of darts into the apex, um, and really responds well to you getting a little bit aggressive with the wheel. Um, I don't like cars that sort of wash out on the front. Um, but when you have those colder tires, especially in the conditions in the night, the rear's just being too cold, not having the grip. When you have that nice front end, I really like. It's like sometimes the rear end just can't keep up with it, and that was the case for those two moments. Um, so yeah, gonna have to drive the pancake, the wingless partial. I haven't driven it yet. Or did I? I can't remember. I might have driven it for like a lap or two. Um, I can't remember if it was the wingless one or the wing one. I cannot remember, but I feel like I did a few laps in one of them. But yeah, I'll have to give it a drive when I have a little bit more time. Um, got a couple of things coming up tomorrow. While I try and finish this Discord message, we have the 100 series. Final round is Sebring. It's getting capable high speed corners, but because of the ground fact, but slower corners, it just doesn't work as well. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I mean, theoretically, the WC, the hypercars are meant to all have similar downforce, um, because of how they're homologated and the regulations they're built to. Um, Similar downforce and drag, but yeah, I mean, it's a theory. I mean, that would be backed up by the fact that its strongest race was at Qatar, like the race before they switched to the new wing version in 2024. It was running quite well there. Some people say it was the surface of the track, Qatar track being very smooth. Um, some people say, but maybe it was like the high speed nature. Qatar's a higher speed track. Um, so yeah, that could have been a possibility. But I know I don't know how well I know in LMU its top speed is pretty good. It's one of the better top speed cars. Um, yeah, it could be that the ground effect stalls out at the lower speeds to like maximize its usage in the sort of higher speeds and the more peaky where downforce is more effective. It's just not as effective at low speeds. As a certain theory. A certain theory, very plausible theory. A game theory. No, that's an arrow theory or race theory, something like that. Um, but yeah, the wingless partial goes strong on like Le Mans Mulsanne. the light without chicanes. Monza, and Monza without chicanes, it's strong at. Fluid dynamics theory. Yeah, fluid dynamics. Luckily, there's the Monza. Yeah, there is. There is, since there's such a limited track choice in LMU that, yeah, there's more than a 50% 50% chance of any track being in a season. Yeah, let me get up Art of Rally. I'll only run the daily event. I'm a bit too tired for the weekly event. I have sleep to catch up on. You two, while I load up Art of Rally here, you two were playing some Beam tonight. How did that go? Tell me about it. Did it go well? I'll load up that up. Let's see. That was last time. Monday, 51st, up 15%. Not that one. Great. It went. Okay, fair enough. That's it. You crashed a lot and didn't get to race anyone. Aww. 10.4 gravel stage. I think this is a Group 4 car. I didn't quite see when it was loading in. It's Toyota Sleek, I'm pretty sure. Maybe it's Group B. Feels quite quick. Just might go slow down. Not a good line through there. That's tighter than I expected it to be. I hit the hay bale there. Luckily it just can't push the car out from the apex rather than stop it dead on the apex and require me to reverse out. We're halfway through stage 9. Don't hit the fencing. just start fishtailing. A little bit of a messy end, but 328.5. 27th, top 10%. That's not too bad, but I feel I could have done a little bit better. Yeah, I could have been a little bit better, but that will do for a late night run on 4 hours of sleep. Not entirely sure if you'll be anywhere near competitive in the race. Yeah, I don't know how quick people will be exactly. They shouldn't be too quick, but whether they are or not is a different matter. Mm, there's some moderately quick people in the hypercar class, to be honest. From the names that I recognize, the hypercar class definitely seems like the stronger field, which is going to make it a little bit difficult. Yeah, I know. A bit of a shame, but hey, what can you do? Uh, good news is, well, I know I say good news. It's actually not going to be so easy. Strategy is going to be fairly simple for the series. It is going to be don't pit unless it's Monza or the Mon where you might pit. Unless it's raining, then you don't pit. You wish you'd sort of reference what people do in hypercars. There you'll get reference. People do laps either the Tuesday beforehand, the Tuesday the day before the race, or there is also talks of running a little practice slash coaching session on Thursday evenings as well. So it'd be the day after the race for the next week, but then for the next week, you know what I mean, or like nearly a week beforehand. Um, I don't know if there will be one. Would technically be next week for that. I don't know, but throughout the series, hopefully that does happen. But yeah, there's still a bit of time before that happens. Still 11 days. They help a lot. Good, good here. I wish I could join those coaching sessions to help out in them, but unfortunately, um, time schedules and commitments just don't allow me to. There's just unfortunate clashes. Um, but yeah, yeah. As I said, I am very tired. I'm on 4 hours sleep, and I do want to get sleep. Uh, Around about now, to be honest. Actually, about maybe 15 minutes ago. So I'm going to head off. Thank you, Fionn. Thank you, Arbel. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Alan, for popping in, chatting throughout the stream today, and anyone else lurking. Thank you all. I hope you all enjoyed the racing, even if I did make some silly, a couple of little mistakes. Hope it was still fun. Hopefully, I will see maybe tomorrow night for the final round of the 100 series, where we might be winning the championship at Sebring. Strategy fuel saving is going to be on the cards again. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, should be a good way 10 series. Looking forward to that in the Porsche Hypercar. And then we'll have a little bit of a break next week. Maybe I've got an idea for one LMU stream. I might do some daily races, which I haven't touched yet on LMU. I might do some of them throughout the week, one day during the week, but we will have to wait and see. That is very much a maybe. Until then, thank you all very much again for joining. Hope you all have a good rest of your evening/night and a good start and a good Sunday. But until tomorrow or next stream after that, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.